Safe food is a fundamental human right. And many times when you think about organic food or organic agriculture, you find that most of these products are normally sold at a very high premium, which means that your normal mwananchi is actually not able to access it, which I find extremely unfortunate because what are, what are you trying to say? Are you trying to say that safe food and organic food is only for a particular group of people who are able to afford it? And one of the things we're actually trying to promote as Sylvia's Basket, slowly, it's not easy, it's a long, tough journey, but it's actually to make this food affordable. And we are trying to grow our food in a way that will be able to reduce the cost of production. And that way, when we're able to take it to the market, it's actually affordable to quite a number of people. One of the ways that we're doing it is to make sure that we grow local food that is seasonal. When you grow local food that is seasonal, you actually don't struggle to grow it very much. Because, for example, let me give an example of our African indigenous vegetables. Some of them are actually quite drought resistant and do very well with very little water. So those are the kind of crops that we are trying to promote and to make sure that we grow them in large quantities. So by the time they get to the market, the cost of production was high, then consequently we are able to sell them at a very affordable way. Also, growing your food seasonally will actually reduce on your cost on production. If you're trying to grow tomatoes in the cold weather of July that we have been experiencing, you will struggle a lot with fungal attacks and fungal infections, which will mean that you have to keep going back to the agrovet to buy some inputs to reduce on the fungal attacks. But if you grow tomatoes in the right season, you'll actually find that you don't have a lot of problems with the tomatoes and they're actually going to do so much better. And also trying to grow food that is adapted to our environment. You know, my mahio is very dry. As I mentioned, you know, we've tried to plant maize, it didn't do well. But if you grow pumpkins, you know, if you grow sorghum, if you grow millet, if you grow things like cucumbers, things that don't need too much water, tomatoes, you actually find that they actually do much better. Even onions actually do very well in this area. So just a mind shift also for us farmers, that we should actually think about growing food that is seasonal and well adapted to our climate, and also to the consumers, for us to be able to manage our palates and get to learn what are the seasonal fruits, what are the seasonal vegetables, and focus on eating those, because chances are very high if you eat seasonal and the farmers have not struggled to grow that particular crop, chances are high that that particular crop is actually going to be organic and free from many synthetic inputs. I actually have some organic farmers, say, for example, in Migori. And what they have done is that instead of having to struggle to get their vegetables all the way to Nairobi overnight, you know, chances are the vegetables, by the time they get to Nairobi, they're not going to be in very good quality. They're going to be, withered, and I won't be able to sell it very well. I tell them, you can send me a bit of your produce, but also why don't you just sell this wonderful organic produce in your local markets? And they've actually started doing it. And you know, you'd find that their local communities actually appreciating it. And you'll find like if one of their neighbors know that they're growing their sukuma wiki or spinach in an organic way, you know, they will always be sending their children, enda kwa mama nani, you know, go to that farmer, go buy their sukuma wiki, because I know that their sukuma wiki is free of pesticide residue. And you'll find in that way that these farmers will actually benefit by even just selling their produce in their local communities. And that's something, unfortunately, you know, that hasn't been promoted in Kenya, because we have really just been thinking about making money through the export market, which is wonderful. It's good and it has really helped a lot of farmers. But I think I want us to have a bit of a mind shift, whereby we are encouraging the local farmers to actually sell their wonderful, good produce even to their local communities.